have different challenges in life. You'll have different things to look at, and you'll see that your life has will not move in the same direction as somebody else's life is moving. I was speaking to some of the Gen Zs in my organization. I work for Make My Trip, all of you know, and I realized कि जो बच्चे थे जिनके पेरेंट्स बड़े सिक्योर्ड हैं, उनका नजरिया बड़ा डिफरेंट था looking at the career. Whereas people who had come and started education with the help of a education loan, and parents had taken a lot of efforts to send them to the college, their nazariya was very different. And we always feel that everybody has one's own story. Everybody has their own limitations and circumstances. So first thing what comes to my mind is that you can't really compare yourself with somebody else. Your life is very different from other. I'll tell you a small story about, I belong to UP, right? How many of you know a place called Banaras, Allahabad and all? Haath utao. Everybody. Anybody from Banaras? Anybody from Prayagraj? Okay, so this is not my birthplace. I'm just trying to figure out, I belong to a small place called Balia, which is still closer to Banaras. And I studied in Allahabad. I did my graduation from there. And I did till class 12th, I did my education in Hindi medium. Till class 5th, I was in English medium because that small city only had a convent school which had only class 5th education. And after that, everybody had to come to government school. So I came to government school. And my parents, we have 4 brothers, 1 sister, a lot of big family. They couldn't really manage to send me to some other place to get into Allahabad or Lucknow or Banaras. I also preferred to really stay back in a small town and did my schooling till class 12th, UP board. Did reasonably well, but also got slightly active in the social circles of a small city. और छोटे शहरों में लड़के जल्दी बिगड़ जाते हैं because बड़ी opportunities होती हैं उनकी. From there I went to Allahabad to do my graduation. And when I went to Allahabad, and why I'm telling you this is that, you should understand that a lot of times after 18 years of age, you have to carve your destiny. आपको अपनी जिंदगी सोचनी है कैसे बनानी है. When I went to Allahabad, I always felt that, hey, I was pretty good in English. I was quite good in terms of my public speaking. I was quite good in terms of my mathematical ability. I was reasonably good in general awareness. But because of the circumstances, I could not get an education which I wanted to do. Then I went to Allahabad and I joined graduation in psychology. And university में ऐसा होता है ना कि you can take don't really take classes. And psychology is difficult English subject. It's not as easy as history, wherein you can read stories. Psychology has concepts. Psychology also has a bit of maths, logic. I took that subject and I joined English medium. I said that I'll study in English medium and see how I can really even compete with others who come from best of the convent schools. 3 years, and I did reasonably well because I knew that now it is not my parents' responsibility. It is my own personal responsibility to excel and create my own career journey. Now, from there, in the 3rd year of graduation, and UP वगैरह में a lot of times people say that you have to become an IAS officer. और यूपी में पढ़ाई ऐसे ही होती है. Graduation वगैरह में everybody is thinking of becoming a civil servant. Process of engineering and medical beginning में, and then after that graduation, most of the people have to aim to become a civil servant, and everybody prepares for that. The first examination I went and gave in my life was of combined defense services. Combined defense services, how many people know? NDA, बहुत लोगों को पता होगा. NDA, yes, great. Defense services, after graduation you give to get into army, right? And that was the first examination of my life. And fortunately, and after written examination, I had to go to Bhopal to appear for the Services Selection Board interview. And those interviews are 5 days. एक दिन का इंटरव्यू नहीं है कि 1 घंटे के अंदर आपका इंटरव्यू हो गया, सिलेक्टेड, रिजेक्टेड. वो 5 दिन का इंटरव्यू होता है. आप रेलवे स्टेशन पे उतरते हो और ऑब्जर्व किया जाता है. And what are you observed for? You are observed for officer like qualities. They say OLQ. That how are you behaving? What is your help? What is your style of communication? How do you conduct yourself? Everything is. And when I reached Bhopal, I other students, they all had come from Chandigarh, Dehradun, Delhi, and is extremely good. And they all were, half of them were son of, army officers, government officers, engineers, doctors, family which is or in the judicial services. मैं वहाँ पे उतरा तो I was slightly shocked that how will I really conduct myself amongst these kids, and they are the ones who will make it, because army is all about style, communication, leadership. So it was a bit of shock, and I went, and 5 days interview happened. I continued to perform, and I'll give you one story of what happened there. And this you have to relate that how you can convert adversity को अपॉर्चुनिटी में आप कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हो, अगर आपको आपको अपने प्रॉब्लम की खुद सोल्यूशन लेनी है. वहां पे 3 मिनट का एक्सटेम्पोर होता है. फॉर 3 minutes यू हैव टू स्पीक ऑन अ टॉपिक इन इंग्लिश, राइट? एंड द टॉपिक इज गिवन टू यू 3 minutes बिफोर यू स्पीक. इट्स नॉट दैट आपको कल दे दिया फिर कल आप आके भाषण देना. 3 minutes स्पीच गिवन टू यू बिफोर द first person ahead of you starts. And when I went, I got a topic which was written as on a chit, cricket. And now what do you speak on cricket? It's and if you have to speak in English, then also it is a another challenge. But you have to speak on a sport. And I used to play cricket. I was a good cricketer. I played till my region level, zonal level. Banaras I represented, but I could not really figure out what will I speak on cricket. But at that point of time, radio commentaries used to come. There was less amount of TV. I still remember radio commentary, and I used to remember all the good commentators in English. 15 मिनट इंग्लिश में होती थी, 15 मिनट हिंदी में होती थी, उस तरीके से चलता था. और एवरी टाइम यू वुड थिंक ऑफ गोइंग टू द हिंदी कमेंट्री. एंड I remembered how commentator used to speak. And commentator used to speak like bright sunny morning, Chepak Garden in Chennai, India versus West Indies, the second test match. Both the captains are out in the field for the toss. And here goes the toss, and Kapil Dev wins the toss and has decided to bat. And now India will play its first inning. It's 10:30. Let's see who's coming to open. Sunil Gavaskar and Shrikant walk out of the pavilion. They take guard, and first ball on from the pavilion end by Curtly Omrose, right arm, short pitch, and all that. I did nothing. I spoke commentary for 3 minutes. What I had learned while listening as a child. 3 minutes commentary, and everybody was shocked. I said, cricket commentary? What else? I'm not supposed to be telling that how cricket was formed, where it originated, and all. And at the end of these 4 or 5 days of selection, something like this, big hall, whole students were sitting. All those people who came for the selection were sitting. All the smartest of the kids. I remember. Um, Major General came inside the office. The general officer commanding, he is the one who announces the result. उसने आके स्टेज पे 2-3 भाषण दिया कि जिंदगी में you have many things to do. It's not that you will only if you are not selected here does not mean that you are not good for something else. You can be good for something else. Amitabh Bachchan also had gone through this selection process but could not make it. But see, where has he gone? So this is what he gave a speech. And then he said that 2 people are selected. Ajmer Singh from Chandigarh, chest number 326. Yuvraj Shrivastava from Allahabad, chest number 239. And he said, folded and left. And can you believe I was sitting somewhere in the center, hiding myself? And the biggest pressure to me was that, There was a friend of mine from Allahabad who came a batch prior for the selection, and he had got selected. And he was one of my best friends. He had got selected. Peer pressure था कि यार अरुण शुक्ला का हो गया है, मेरा होगा कि नहीं होगा. और उससे भी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी ये थी कि अरुण शुक्ला was dating a girl who was friend of my girlfriend. So now there was a competition between girlfriends also. You know, Arun has got selected. She said to my current wife. So I don't think that I basically had too many girlfriends. So my girlfriend at that point of time is today my wife. So she had already told that, you know, Arun has made it. Yuvraj is also going next month. Will he be able to make it and all? This is what Arun has said. So there was an immense amount of pressure from all sides. And when the result came, the only thing which came to my mind is that I think that you have to know that everybody's life is written in a different way. And you, all of you as students, have to believe in yourself and not get disappointed by looking at others, because for everyone, life is very different. As I said, Gen Zs are different. The way Gen Zs are different at different places, people sitting next to you have come from a very different background. They have their own destiny. You have to ensure that you be true to yourself. आपको जो आता है उसके ऊपर भरोसा रखो and try to change yourself to the level that you lose your identity. अपने आप को इतना चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं है जिससे कि ना आप इधर के रहें ना उधर के रहें. It's important for you to continue to maintain your identity and real self, and only try to do a bit of grooming around it rather than really changing yourself. If we have to talk, so this is about having confidence in yourself and knowing that your life is very different. I'll tell you another thing. Life is not fair. ठीक है. नरेंद्र मोदी एक ही है ना देश के अंदर, right? आदित्यनाथ is only one. Life is not fair. Life is supposed to be unfair. And if we curse life and destiny, then we are cursing ourselves. Ab, look at MBA institutes. You all are undergrad students. I keep telling MBA students that everybody joins an MBA institute or any professional institute, even engineering. If you go, you will also pass out after doing your undergrad. There'll be people who would have scored higher than you will get not get a job which is better than yours. There are people who might be topping the class. There are people may not get as good as an option as somebody else who's an average in the class. So life is unfair from the day you get into the education and professional world. Day zero, people who get selected, they get a very different salary as compared to people who get selected on day three. And if that is the way life operates, it's important for you to really be ready for it and derive satisfaction by knowing what is your strengths, what are you good at, rather than looking at others. Your life has to be charted out by you yourself. I'll tell you, I have worked for companies like Asian Paints. How many of you have heard the name of Asian Paints? Everyone. Paints banate hain, right? Oberoi Hotels, naam suna hoga. Pepsi, most of you have heard. And now I work for Make My Trip. And I'm working for Make My Trip for last 11 and a half years. And this all happened after leaving my army life. And today also people ask me this question very clearly. If I will give you an opportunity to ask a question, बहुत सारे तुम लोग ये पूछोगे कि सर आपने आर्मी क्यों छोड़ी. Most of the people will ask this question. But the fact is, I always tell that, you know, there are life decisions. You can't really blame anybody. I perhaps did reasonably well after leaving army, but I also have many of my friends who left army could not really do as good or as well as they had thought they will do. But the beauty is that they don't blame anyone because the decision is yours. If you have decided to do a course, whether it is a BBA, BCA, MBA, whatever, I think it is your decision. and now you have to live with this decision and make the best use of it. The day you start thinking that things are not working for you, I think you have to first look at people who are even worse than you, and you have to know that finally the decision has been made, and you have to ensure that this foundation becomes very strong for you. If you don't do it, you'll regret. I'll somebody asked me in a couple of meetings uh, that Yuvraj, if you have to give one advice to your younger self, what that advice would be. Is it clear? Now I am 54 years. An advice to, if I have to give an advice to Yuvraj Srivastava, who's 18 or 20 years, what would that be? I felt there are two things. First, I said that I would have really studied for knowledge. I should have studied for knowledge. I should have not studied only for degree. And what happens? We get into education and we are only thinking that we have to get a degree after 3 years. I'll become a graduate. I'll become an MBA after that. I have finished 10th. I have finished 12th. I say that a lot of times I still feel that I studied only keeping in mind that, I have to get good marks and pass the examination. But the reality is, now I realize that education is not only degree, education is also about knowledge, or education is only about knowledge. So forget about how much score you do get, whether you are 70%, 80%, 60%. I think that you should be very sure कि हम जो पढ़ रहे हैं समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, और वो जो पढ़ के समझ में आएगा वो वो जिंदगी भर नहीं भूलेगा. Some of the things which were taught to me by my professors and the teachers as a student, as a youngster, I think I remember because I really studied those stuff. But there are certain things which I don't remember. So first thing what I said, that it's important for me, and I will tell that don't look at only degree, look at education, invest a lot of time. And how many of you know Hindi? इसमें ना एक दो लाइन किसी शायर ने शायरी सुनी है सबने? हाँ, कितने लोगों को अच्छी लगती है? ये देखो सब तुम लोग क्या करोगे मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा. ओके, किसी ने कहा है ना कि डिग्रियां तो तालीम के खर्चे की रसीदें हैं. डिग्रियां तो तालीम के खर्च, इल्म तो वो है जो किरदार में झलकता है. What it means is that when you'll get a degree, it will be only a receipt of the expenses what you have done to get the degree. But your real character will come by looking at your conduct, your behavior, and the way you present yourself. So, I think that can we really make a difference? That we are not going to get only degree, we are going to get knowledge, information, so that we can be held in good state. So that was the first thing what I said. Second thing what I also realized, that in any society or a group, all of you are students right now, tomorrow you'll go to the corporate world, choose your friends very carefully. And I say that in the corporate world, जो लोग थोड़े नेगेटिव होते हैं ना, वो बड़े अट्रैक्टिव होते हैं. जिन लोगों के थॉट्स थोड़े से रिबेलियस होते हैं ना, वो बड़े अट्रैक्टिव होते हैं. दे टॉक टू attract you to their thought, but lot of times those thoughts are not the ones which are the real thoughts. Rebel is, but rebel for the right cause is very important, right? So first, education versus knowledge. Second, choosing your partners, friends very carefully, so that you have a positive rub off. In Make My Trip, I say that, what do I offer to the people who come? We always say that people who join Make My Trip, they get an opportunity of working with best of the people. क्योंकि एक समय के बाद आपकी education training doesn't happen by going to the classroom, books and all. Your education happens only by spending time with the good people. If you spend good time with good people, I think that finally it gives you a lot of learning, right? So as a student, it's important to build resilience. It's as a student, it's important to build, and as a student, it is very important for you to be ready to fail. I'll tell you a story of Marwan Attapattu. Anybody knows that story? Has anybody heard? Some of the people in the front row would know. Marwan Attapattu was a cricketer. श्रीलंकन टीम का कैप्टन था 97 के बाद. Remember? Now he's saying that yes, थोड़ा याद आ रहा है. तो Marwan Attapattu ना, he made his debut in 1990. Are you guys listening? Listening to me or talking to each other? Listen to me. This is an interesting story. You will remember, and you can quote to many people. Marwan Attapattu made his debut in 1990. The first match which he played, he was out on first innings. He was out on zero. Kapil Dev got him out. He played again. He was out on zero, and then he went back. He got dropped from the team, and he practiced. 92. He came back to Sri Lankan. First inning, that was against Australia, zero. Second inning, he played. He scored 1 run. So 2 years, 3 zeros, 1 run. 92 cut to 93. Again went back, scored a lot of runs. Third opportunity given to him. First match, that was now against, I think, South Africa. First match, first inning, he was an opening batsman. Second inning, second ball, edge, caught behind, zero. So, 2.5 years, 6 innings, 1 run. And that time he got dropped, he came back into the team after uh, 2 years, 1.5 years after practicing and all. And when you are performing in a, you can't really be ignored. You have to finally be brought in. And then he was brought back again in team in 97. Almost 6 saal ho gaye. And after that, when he again came back into the team, he scored against India, same ground, Chandigarh. First inning, he scored 108 run, not out. And after that, this gentleman, to score his second run, almost 7 years to score his second run, went on to score 16 centuries for Sri Lanka, 6 double hundreds, and finally also became captain of Sri Lankan team for long. So that's the story of resilience. It's not that your story is written by you. Marwan Attapattu was an example of a grit, determination, going back and practicing again and again and not giving up. And knowing that my life is mine, I think I need to work on what my areas of improvement are, and I need to come back and perform. That's the story of resilience. Now, last story, if I have to tell you before we wind up, and if you have any questions. I went for a commando course in army. You know, commando course is 35 days course. And commando course, may you have to get up in the morning at 4:30 and you have to be awake till 11 o'clock in the night. And every day you run for 20 kilometers. Every week you go for 45 kilometers, run. 5 o'clock in the evening you are left. Next day morning around 10 o'clock you are coming back. It was a batch of 40 people, and there were only 32 people who could pass the test. And the people who could not pass the test, I still remember, they all were officers. All these 8 officers who could not pass the test and who really left the course in between, they had options in life. Their family was very secured. The kids of already serving army officers. and they came back and they said, and because that completion of that course was not dependent on your career, आपने नहीं भी किया तो ऐसा नहीं कि आपको नौकरी से निकाल दिया जाएगा, लेकिन आपके पास ऑप्शन है. और जो 32 लोगों ने कोर्स कंप्लीट किया, मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल वे दोज who basically realize कि उनके पास option नहीं, means in fact if they have put themselves in that situation, they have to work and they have to pass, and I was also one of them. I could not run properly because we are not from a Indian regions wherein people are genetically well built, right? Uttarakhand ho gaya, hills ho gaya, Haryana ho gaya, Punjab ho gaya. These are some of the areas wherein people are genetically stronger. But UP, Bihar, Orissa, and all, people would be still, I think, relatively not so physically strong. And we came back applauded for the efforts what we had put in. I went to Srinagar for 3 years, and for the army, for the counterinsurgency operations what were happening from 93 to 96. So that was, again, if you think that you will have an option in life, you'll always run out. If you will think that what you have put yourself in, you need to put in efforts and ensure that you have to make a success out of it. Biggest thing what all of you as student needs to really keep in mind, that you have come here, you have started your education, you will have options in life, but there's already some time which has got past. Resilience is important. Small failures, you don't have to compare yourself with others. Your life chart is very different as compared to somebody else. You have to ensure that you are studying for the knowledge. Don't only run for the marks. It's okay to get marks, but it's important to also get knowledge. And finally, it's important for you to choose your people very carefully, to whom you interact and spend time with, because that has the biggest impact and influence on you. And with this, I think I say thank you to all of you. Thanks a lot. In case you have any questions, happy to answer. Thank you. कोई सवाल? Anyone? किसी का कोई? हाँ, yeah, please. Give her a big round of applause. ताली बजाओ सारे लोग. Because see, बहुत बार आप ना सवाल इसलिए नहीं पूछते हो कि आपको लगता है कि शायद मेरा सवाल अच्छा है या बुरा है, और लेकिन अब जब सवाल सुनने वाले के दिमाग में कोई ऐसी फीलिंग नहीं है. I am very happy that you are asking a question. At least you are triggering a thought in everybody's mind, and you are helping me do my job better. So thank you so much. Yeah.
After all these years of sweat and soil, would like to tell us that you followed in your life to achieve what stage you are standing on? So any one rule that you followed till now and you will suggest us?
So great. What's your name?
So my name is Srishti Varshni.
Shrishti. So Shrishti, I think there are many rules where I can. एक चीज जो दिमाग में आती है, one thing which I feel is that you are never beyond 3 out of 5. स्केल अगर आप बनाते हो 1 2 3 4 5, और 5 कहते हो आउटस्टैंडिंग, और 1 कहते हो, और 0. So as an individual, you should always consider yourself as 3 out of 5, because you are in reality, when you ask yourself, you'll give an exam, and when the marks will come, you'll say कि यार ठीक है marks, but I think that I could have put in more effort. If you say that इतनी पढ़ाई की थी, इतना किया था, उसके बाद भी इतने ही marks आए हैं, so then you are set for disappointment. So I always feel, and I feel that rule works for me, is that whatever I do, I always feel that I have done only 3 out of 5. I could have done still better. And if I have that feeling, it always keeps me alive. It also doesn't make me negative. कहना is relative, right? I have, in case there is a relative ranking, somebody will be 4, somebody will be 5, then it is fine. Relative scale पे अगर मैं 4 हो जाता हूँ तो ठीक है, लेकिन in reality my score is 3 to me. And if somebody tells me, my teacher tells me, my professor tells me, my manager tells me, my leader tells me that you are, I am very happy because that is his right to tell. It is not my right to think that I am the best. So, how do you really still be humble, grounded, and feel that you could do still better? Will always keep you inspired to do more. The day you start thinking, मैंने तो बहुत काम किया था यार, then you are going to really lose your, um, energy to do better things. So, rule is that you are 3 out of 5. Keep that in mind. It will keep inspiring you and helping you to do even better than what you have done. Right?
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind, sir. Myself, Ravishesh Srivastava. Sir, what's that one advice you would like to share when you were in your military training so that we can also do good in our lives? Thank you.
So I told some of these, एक चीज हमेशा ध्यान में रखना, what army teaches you is that you can never be bigger than the organization. बहुत बार लोगों को ये गुमान हो जाता है कि मैं जहां पर हूं मैं इंस्टीट्यूशन से अच्छा हूं. अगर मैं किसी कंपनी में नौकरी कर रहा हूं तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज बिगर देन मी. इफ आई एम स्टडीइंग समवेयर, इंस्टीट्यूशन इज बिगर देन व्हाट आई डिजर्व. If I'm in a group of people, I know that I am one of them. So my learning from army had been that, organization is bigger than me. Whatever I do, I should be indebted to the organization that it has given me an opportunity to do work and deliver. The day I start thinking that they didn't deserve me, but I have come here, I'll be going on a downslide. So always keep that. And other thing what you should also keep in mind and what I feel is, uh, विजन अलाइनमेंट बहुत जल्दी होना चाहिए आर्मी की लर्निंग्स के हिसाब से. आर्मी में जब आप जाते हो ना, जब यूनिफॉर्म पहनते हो, तो कोई आपसे ये नहीं कहता कि तुम्हारा विजन क्या है, तुम्हारा मिशन क्या है. वो आपने यूनिफॉर्म पहनी, उसके बाद विजन और मिशन एक ही है. क्या है विजन मिशन? सर्व द नेशन, हैंडल द क्राइसिस एंड प्रोटेक्ट द कंट्री. Nobody tells you. There is nowhere written anywhere that vision of Indian Army is this. उससे ये होता है कि आपका अलाइनमेंट बहुत जल्दी होता है. आप अगर किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जाते हो, यू गो एंड वर्क एंड यू से दैट हे दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज डूइंग समथिंग लाइक दिस, इट इज फोकसिंग ऑन दिस, आई एम नॉट अलाइन्ड विद द विजन. आई थिंक दैट्स द रॉन्ग वे टू अप्रोच. Quickly you adapt to the vision and align yourself helps you do better. So those are the two things if I have to say.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks. Yes.
A very good morning, sir. I'm Prakhya Srivastava, currently pursuing BSc in Computer Science.
Very good. What's your name?
Prakhya Srivastava.
Prakhya.
Prakhya.
What
Yes,
is the
sir.
meaning of Prakhya?
So Prakhya is a derived.
Prakhyat.
No, Prakhya.
Okay.
So Prakhyat, it's a derived from the word Prakhyat only. It's a Sanskrit word which means being famous. So my name is derived from that word only.
Prakhya.
Yes, sir.
So yes, famous. Please tell me.
So, sir, as you mentioned in between that we should choose our circle very carefully. I have often faced problem while choosing my friends, and I have been in that situation that I have often chose the wrong people. So, what, according to you, are the green flags and the red flags?
Beautiful. Give her a round of applause. Taali bajao isko. Very good question, Prakhya.
Thank you, sir.
And the people who don't give a space to others in a group, bad job, is a red flag, right? So suppose in a class, there's a class of 40 people and there are 2-3 kids who are really brilliant, right, and intelligent. And I'm not pointing out to anyone, ठीक है, I'm just giving a generic example. पता नहीं वो example आगे वाली लोगों को set होगा कि नहीं होगा, लेकिन ठीक है, चलने दो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. So as a friend जब choose करते हैं ना, so it is important for you to be careful that you are not creating jealousy for yourself in the minds of others. People should not get envious of you, and then, because envy finally results into negativity towards you. And I'll give you an example. Suppose there is a student in the class, every question asked raises his or her hand and starts answering every question, because focus is clearly to impress the teacher and also show the class that I know everything. But a good person or good student would be one, maybe answer one question, two questions, and third question, if it is asked and still the person knows the answer, looks around and sees that is there somebody else who's interested in answering. Allow others to. So the first red flag is if people try to take the center stage and hog the limelight, it's a red flag, right? Green flag is if people are ready to listen to you. लीडर्स वही बनते हैं ग्रुप्स में जो लोगों के रिलेशंस को बैलेंस करते हैं. अगर आप 10 का स्टूडेंट का ग्रुप है तो कोई ना कोई एक ऐसा लड़का होगा जो कि दो लोगों के बीच के कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को रिजॉल्व करने की कोशिश करता है. So you should always think as a person that who are the people who basically are listening well, who are the people who are trying to hog limelight, who are the people who think that they know everything, who are the people who have a keenness to really answer everything. So these are some of the areas which one can think of looking at while making friends. And I think it's not important to always point out to people, right? It's important as youngster to also help people understand this. आप go back to your school days. वो कहते हैं ना bullies होते हैं स्कूल में. सबके स्कूल में होते थे. दो तीन एक साथ हो जाएंगे, सबको धमकाते रहेंगे, हड़काते रहेंगे वगैरह वगैरह. Just look at that. Think what was wrong with them. They might have been a good student. They might be the smartest of the kids, but they were bullies. And bullies, the qualities of bullies are the something what you should think is not the one which you would like to really stick around, right? And I think people who are cooperative, people who can work well, people who can step back are the ones who basically create a positive environment, right? Because ये ध्यान रखना कि every time when you come to class uh, and speak to people, it is not that every time you are coming to listen to your professors, right? प्रोफेसर अच्छी बातें करते हैं, सिखाते हैं आपको, लेकिन बहुत बार आप क्लास में इसलिए आते हो क्योंकि आपके फ्रेंड्स भी आए होते हैं. So it's important to really create an environment wherein you are enjoying the company of people, right? That's what it is. ठीक है प्रज्ञा? Thank you. Yes.
Very good morning, sir. My name is Dhruv, and I would like to ask, from your experience, great experience from your life, tell, advise something on decision making. As you, after 12, you chose psychology in your college, and then you decided to go in the army, combined forces, and then after that, you came you with many youth companies, giant companies. So tell something about the decision making.
What's your name?
Dhruv.
Dhruv. Dhruv, decision making about what? For different things, right? देखो, one principle what should be followed in decision making. Please sit down. I have always done this. I don't know how many of you can really do this. Mentally and emotionally transport yourself 3 to 4 years ahead of the time. From there, look back and see, would you be happy to have this decision? So I had certain situations like this in life wherein I thought that, in fact, this was to do with my son when he was getting admission in the colleges and all. I told him this only, that, you have an option of joining different colleges. Mentally think that would you like to go 3 to 4 years ahead, and then close your eyes and think, are you proud of what you are doing or you are not? You'd get a very clear answer, because individually a lot of times we hide our own emotions and we try to take the decision which is far more acceptable one. It's very important. Second is decision making. There is always a pros and cons. So if you create a list of pros and cons, you'll realize that you can weigh it clearly. For a career, like there is a framework for career. आपको करियर देखना है कि कहाँ जाना है, तो 5-6 चीजें होती हैं और सारे वर्ड्स स्टार्ट होते हैं एल से. लोकेशन, लूकर मीन्स मनी, लीडरशिप, लॉन्जेविटी एंड लर्निंग. आपको कभी भी कोई ऑफर मिले नौकरी के लिए, जॉब के लिए, you should always put it on these 6 frameworks and see if location is good. So suppose somebody is from a remote part of the country and doesn't want to really go to, say, Andaman. and the location is Andaman. So I say, okay, fine. On the location, I give a score of 2 out of 5. So location, level, looker, leadership, learning, longevity. Create a framework. Always create one own framework in your mind. Pros and cons, some important decisions, pointers, and then rate it. Do a pen and paper exercise. You will find that you will be benefited by taking in your decision making ability. Yeah. Acha, okay. I'm happy that you people are asking questions because I was quite nervous before I came here. क्योंकि पता नहीं तुम लोग सोओगे क्या करोगे मुझे पता नहीं है. सुबह सुबह बुला तो लिया, but I think I'm happy that you guys.
Hi sir, I'm Mudhil Kepali.
Mike.
Yeah. सर मेरा क्वेश्चन इन जनरल है, लाइक आप एचआर डिपार्टमेंट से बिलोंग करते हैं, सो लाइक अभी 5.5 years पहले कोविड हिट करा था, तो सारे कंपनी शट डाउन हो रही थी, सबका ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डिपार्टमेंट बिल्कुल नीचे स्तर पे चला गया था, एंड लाइक आपने ऐसे क्या पॉलिसीज अपनाई थी कि अब आपका जो ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डिपार्टमेंट है वो एयरबीएनबी को कंपटीशन दे रहा है, लाइक क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट?
देखो, I think कोविड के दौरान सिचुएशंस, देखो डिफिकल्ट डिसीजन लेना किसी के लिए मुश्किल नहीं होता है. My trip, I always believe, and we believe in this principle, that even if I'm asking somebody to go, I will ensure that the person goes out of the company as a big ambassador of me. अगर इस point of view से अगर हम approach करते हैं, तो I think that my decision making ability, a person to separate, becomes very different. Organizations, when they think that so many people are not working out, they are just that moment. I feel that life is even beyond that. If I have to let somebody go from the organization, I can do conversation, but I have to ensure that the person goes out with a positive feeling about me. Because tomorrow he'll go out, and if he talks good things about me, it will help me. If he talks negative, then it will not help me. And maybe a situation wherein I'll have to get that person back. So basically, 200 people who were asked to separate. But the good part is, Mr. 40% people are back in the organization. We again hired them. 30% people were given opportunities. They did not come back because they had already got job. And all those people were spoken. People for the decision. समझाएगा कि क्यों मार्क्स कम है, आप खुश हो जाओगे, आप you'll be happy. But as long as you'll keep thinking that my marks are not good and I don't have an explanation, you'll not be happy. So I think that approach has been, principle has been that talk to people, communicate, create them as an ambassador, and then do those actions. That is how it has really worked. Thank you everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we are truly honored by your gracious presence amongst us today, and we are privileged to hear your wisdom born out of decades of experience and introspection. On behalf of the organizing committee of the International Conference at Asian School of Business, to Mr. Yuvraj Srivastava for delivering a truly inspiring and thought-provoking keynote address this morning. His talk on the power of resilience has left us, each one of us, with a sense of renewed motivation and a deeper understanding of how adaptability, perseverance, and professional spheres. So, we are deeply grateful for the time and effort conference and given our participants, especially the students and model who embodies the strength of character and vision that true leaders possess. Sir and Dr. Sona Vikas ma'am to felicitate our guests with a small token of our gratitude. Thank you, sir. A small token of our gratitude to Thank you, sir. Please join us for a photograph, sir.